Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it appears that another month has gone by, and so because of that, we're gonna have another reset in the Tower of Adversity. And with 2.6 kind of on the horizon, as well as the release of Augusta coming up, we might be able to see some hints and tricks, some hints and tips when it comes to that newest character in this upcoming reset. So let's just go ahead, let's get right on into it and see what's in store for us in terms of enemies and buffs, starting off with the middle tower, because that's typically going to be the hardest. So this version of the middle tower is actually only going to have 2 floors still, even though in 2.6 it was teased that the 3rd and 4th floors are actually going to be added. My point of view is that, yes, we are going to have only 2 floors, but the second that 2.6 drops, I wouldn't be surprised if floors 3 and 4 in the middle zone are going to be added. So be on the lookout for that once the patch is ready to go. Now, let's get into our very first floor over here. In the middle tower, we're actually going to be going against Fleur de Lis, arrow resistant. Yes, they are putting weekly bosses into the endgame modes now. They started off with Scar, then they kind of stopped, but now we've got this one ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. It could be a bit of a tussle. Electro and Havoc are going to be the 2 elements or the 2 attributes that are highly promoted right now. That makes sense, right? That makes a ton of sense because for Lova, Cantarella, Rosia, those characters were all just on banner. And of course, Augusta is going to be an Electro heavy attack focused character. And so this buff over here, ladies and gentlemen, is undeniably kind of mid. This just straight up gives you a 30% heavy attack damage bonus, which is going to be usable on any heavy attack character, a 30% Electro bonus, which is going to make it nice if you're using Augusta, but it also really nice if you're using like a Zhang Liao or a Calcharo, and then a 30% Havoc damage bonus as well, which is good if you're using Havoc Rover or a Camellya. This is actually one of the most well-designed middle tower buffs I've seen, from the perspective of, yes, it does shill a couple of attributes, right? And it does shill a Rosia or a Augusta in particular, but there's still so many users on the roster who are going to be able to obtain some type of benefit from this. For example, even this is an arrow-resistant floor. If it wasn't arrow-resistant Fleur de Lis, like maybe this floor over here, you're actually capable of using a Gian, but there aren't really any other heavy attackers in the game. You are also capable of using like a Phoebe or a Zani here, and you basically will like negate, right, the Spectral Resistance bonus that's available. So we will be trying out a Phoebe Zani team over here to kind of just see firsthand, right, how strong are these buffs, and is it going to offset the Spectral Resistance? I think we're just going to have a pretty simple time with that. And it has been a while since some people have used Phoebe and Zani in the ToA. We're also going to be trying out with the Gian team over here, working against the arrow resistance, and just see how it all pans out. So without further ado, let's get those teams ready to go. So first off, we're going to have our Zani, and let's just use a Verena on this team, as well as a Phoebe. This should be a pretty fun lineup for us to go with. You can see Blazing Justice over here, all of that. S0, R1, pretty good stats. For the Phoebe, we're going to be looking at, oh my god, where's her Moonlit? I'm not even going to care what she has on her. She's going to have Luminous Hymn, a random Moonlit set with like 192 ER, and we're going to call it a day, because she doesn't really need equipment, because she's doing no damage anyways. Verena is going to be popping in with a nice 262 ER. Don't really need to know what else she's equipping. She also has an R4 variation, which is really cool. So let's give this team a bit of a try, see how it is. Be warned, it's been quite a long fucking time since I played Zani, or Phoebe, or Verena, honestly. So we might be a little bit rusty when it comes to these rotations. Also, I've never faced Fleur de Lis in this game mode. So I kind of don't know what she's going to do. She seems to have a bit of her hologram moveset.
All of you at once. I don't do overtime. Come on. Don't stand in my way. My shield can withstand more than that.
I mean, it's looking pretty good to me, brother.
Sentinel protection. Power of the Sentinel. Life is an effort.
Oh, I kind of canceled one of my... Ooh, whoopsies.
Fruit of Ever, Sentinel protects me. Bluebird, be my salvation. In the name of Imperator.
Little. All yours. I can spare a minute to knock some heads around. Don't stand in my way. Come on, me. Reduce my shield.
Ooh, we got interrupted. Ooh, that's a little bit rough.
Sentinel protects me.
What a waste of time.
Ha, apologies. Ha, hold fast in the sunlight. The fruit of Ever.
Yeah, do keep in mind, this does have spectral resistance increase, which is going to actually be a lot stronger than the 30% heavy attack buff that we're getting.
Shielding.
All yours.
Yeah, the time is looking a little bit suspect, though. The time is looking a little bit suspect.
Come on.
It probably is way better if we run this with Shorekeeper, but with all these characters being R1, yeah, I mean, maybe that is a little bit too much. To make the final call, though, I want to try out our Jian team, because our Jian team is going to be running with some additional sort of issues with the build. And I think it's really going to be a good sort of like benchmark, because this Jian over here is going to have nice stats, right? But they're going to be on Age of Harvest, Jinhsi Signature, and they're also going to be having some, surely they have like the regular gorilla, right? Okay, no, they're using the nightmare one. They're going to have some minor ER issues. We're also going to be running this with a Mortifi, whose build is not going to be... It's going to be okay, but it's not going to be, like, the greatest thing ever. It's actually a pretty good build, actually. Yeah, the Mortifi should be good. We're going to be running it with the Shorekeeper over here, and then the Jian on the side. And if this team is, like, having some big-ass issues, maybe the HP inflation truly has gone to some pretty crazy levels. So let's give it a try over here. Because one thing for certain, right, is that we're actually pretty good at using this team. I know it might not look like it at first.
Fury boils. Silence. Bring it on.
Oh my god, did we just die? Wait, those guys just killed us. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, boys. That resistance is actually crazy. I don't know if it's HP inflation, boys, when my Jian ticks are dealing 9k damage. I think that's just... The resistance does appear to be a bit of an issue. Yeah, that's 9k ticks. I don't think it's an HP inflation issue if my clears are dog shit when I'm not, like, dealing damage. So, yeah, is it HP inflation or are we literally just dealing no damage? Because, I mean...
Wow, from the soul.
What?
Not bad, huh? Inferno.
So, let's see.
Fury boils. Feel my wrath. Burn. You're wide open. God, stop. Don't you worry.
Ordained.
As you wish.
Astral modulation.
Yeah, these are some pretty... See, this is the thing. I think it's literally the resistance actually just destroying us. That's what it feels like. Because 9k a tick is kind of disastrous over here.
Don't you worry.
And yeah, this thing is a little bit too agile. And we did have a couple of rotations straight up griefed, so I don't think we're gonna get the 3-star clear with this one. So, I guess this is the thing. Yes, these buffs do look pretty interesting, but I don't know if, like, this 10% is actually a lie, because it seems like a lot more than 10% when my Jian is going in and dealing 9k ticks. I'm gonna be real with you here. Hitting under 10k a tick with a 30% heavy attack damage buff actually does seem a little bit ridiculous. It low-key almost feels like maybe this one isn't even working. Honestly, I kind of just want to check if it's even working. Actually, I think what can occur is I can just get an intro skill in on Jian, use his, and then exit out, and then we should be able to see if the buff is active.
You're wide open.
All right, then we just leave right here. And now let's see if our Jian actually has that heavy attack damage buff.
Is dynamic. Do not let your guard down.
Does he? That's 49%. Honestly, it might be active. It might actually be active. I think it is working. Yeah, I guess the thing is, this Jian is not built that well. It has almost no heavy attack damage bonus anyways, and we're working into resistance. I think that's why the team is just not doing too well. So let's go ahead, let's reframe this a little bit, and let's just try it with a regular Havoc team, right? Let's just go ahead and put in our Camellya in here with a Sanhua, and just because this is probably one of the most accessible teams in the game that almost everyone can have, because it's got 2 free characters. Let's see how this team does, and see what it looks like when we're fighting into a resistance bonus using one of the most owned 5-star units with an affordable support. No Rosia here.
Frozen blockade.
Lion graft you knew.
Stay behind me.
Bloom from ashen shaft. Struggle harder. Entertain me. Let's have fun. Let's have fun.
I mean, Camellya seems to be absolutely destroying this shit, so, I mean, what can I really say? Yeah, I mean, if a Camellya is doing this, guys, maybe it's just not, I don't know about HP inflation, boys.
Low astral modulation.
Yeah, the difference is like night and day over here, right?
Don't run. Keep the dance going.
And Camellya basically gets to work with the Havoc damage bonuses.
It's getting fun.
What?
Vitality sour. God.
How did she not parry that?
Blossom.
Did they just... What are these guys doing? Oh my god! What? They parried Ephemeral and then chain grabbed me?
Stay behind me.
Oh, great.
Like frigid.
I mean, having stuff like that in the ToA is actually pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie, it's like figuring out that they can actually do that to me is kind of sick.
I can keep going.
Reborn from ancient. Don't run.
I mean, it's obviously annoying, but there, and that's what's supposed to happen when this asshole grabs me, okay?
Let's have fun.
Oh my goodness, we are absolutely destroying his body.
Let's have fun.
So yeah, you can kind of see what's going on here, boys.
Loading.
Frozen blockade.
I think that this one is just a bunch of waves, and the Morning Ikes is kind of annoying.
Stay behind me.
And I actually am making some mistakes in this clear. Like,
Feed my blossoms, self-deceivers.
Like, half of my damage on her is, like, not even... It's like I'm dealing with like that shit. It's kind of hard for Camellya to deal damage to this thing. But if she does break it and then you have uninterrupted time, I think you're cooking, brother. Electro and Havoc are both things that people are naturally gonna have a lot of. But going into Resistance, at least on this stage, I don't know if it's more than 10%. It didn't seem like the worst thing ever. I know the Zani team did take a while, but Zani's the only one dealing damage over here, and I guess she's getting a 30% heavy attack buff, but then going into Resistance. I think that's a net loss. I don't actually recommend it. I would dare say, maybe just use, like, fusion teams or, like, anything like that. Don't use, like, a Jinhsi team. Probably a Carlotta over here is going to absolutely clean house. So let's do a final try on this tower and just use a built Carlotta with a Jeja instead. And kind of like use that as like our base mark bench line in comparison against Fleur-de-Lis. And then just kind of like see how this goes. This is what Jeja's going to be on. Let's do a final comparison over here. The Jeja doesn't really have that great stats and see what it looks like. No resistance, no buffs at all. Basically a vanilla fight. Boom.
In the name of the Montelis.
It's the same. It's the same. We're gonna 2-rotate her. Yeah, we're just gonna 2-rotate her. I don't think there's... I think the only concerns that you should have is if you're trying to be like me and use, like, some Spectro shit when it has a Spectro resistance. I think that's it. The ToA looks kind of perfectly fine to me, guys. If the Carlotta team is, like, still with no buffs at all and no resistance, like, cooking like this, boys. And I missed the crit as well, right? I missed the crit as well. And that's the only reason why we're doing a 3rd rotation on here, is because, well, yeah, we missed a crit. Hopefully, you guys can see the ToA. We've been critiquing WuWa a lot recently, right? And yes, I will critique it when it comes to things like WuWa, but I don't think we can critique the ToA just yet. Yeah, it's just... What can I say? That probably would have been a 1-minute clear if we didn't miss crits on 80%. This is like my baseline benchmark team, because it is very hard to screw up the execution of this team, but it does a little bit less damage than some other lineups. But you can guarantee all the damage with this. And if this team is clearing in 2 rotations, effectively, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think it's that much of a concern. Check sequences, it's an S0 Carlotta. It's just well built.
I alone will decide whether it's for sure.
But yeah, S0 R1 Carlotta. That's going to be the middle tower. We went on quite an adventure with that one. Thought that there might have been some power creep or HP inflation issues, but more so, it seems like it's a resistance issue. And that 10% resistance increase seems like it's doing a lot. Maybe it's more than 10%. It felt like it was, at least for me, seeing those 9k Geontics and then seeing how long the Zani team took, especially compared to the Carlotta one. So, yeah. That's, you know, it is what it is. Now let's take a look at the side towers. And the right tower that we're going to have available over here is going to be Fusion Resistance Decrease. So you're meant to use the Fusion team over here. And so you're going to gain a Fusion damage bonus of 25%. And then dealing damage with the intro skill causes a blast that deals 1500% Fusion damage, triggered once every 10 seconds. This is a great buff. This is actually usable by more than just fusion characters. Every single character in the game is going to come in and then use this 1500% fusion nuke. And you're perfectly capable of using any lineup you want with attack scalers, and they will activate a pretty big buff. Why don't we just go ahead and see what it looks like when we just, hey, Let's screw it. Let's just use a Jinhsi team. Keep our Jeja in here, and then just go with Jinhsi and just give it a try and see how it looks. I know I could use the fusion team, but, you know, what's the point? And this is, I think, one of the first times we've seen the Lampilume in Myriad. Oh, Jinhsi has no signature? Well, whoopsies. Hopefully the clear time isn't too bad. Her weapon's on Gion. Hey, she's still doing like 144k on her liberation. How bad could it be? I mean, she's still dealing damage. I guess we'll figure out what weapon she has later. I guess you're just seeing firsthand, right, how, well, unnecessary stuff is in the side tower. And, like, the super low investment you can have. Oh, I messed up my rotation, too. I forgot to use my Jeja Liberation. Oh, whoopsies, whatever. So I, like, completely griefed the rotation over here. Didn't even use half my shit properly. Like, my Jeja... It's taking like 10 business days to rotate, and we don't even know what weapon is on Jinhsi, and we got a 1 minute clear. Okay. Just finish it. Come on. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of people are concerned, right, about the fact that you might need 3 teams in the new ToA. Guys, the fact of the matter is, this final floor is actually really fucking easy because I pretty much griefed my Jeja's rotation, and we don't even know what this Jinhsi is using. Bro, she was on a lustrous razor with like a 57.1 272, so we missed like half the crits. It's like the amount of investment that you need is like, I messed up. I didn't even use Jeja's liberation, so I had like a half charge forte shot. It's like, brother, the amount of investment that you need to get the 3-star clear in these side zones is really small. Like, I think level 80 characters with 4-star weapons can get 3-star clears on these side floors. And this is the side floor that's going to be active when the ToA gets floors 4 and 5. So yes, you can say it requires 3 teams to do, but we're getting like sub 1 minute clears with some weird fucking shit and some fucked up rotations. Plus, guys, we're not even using the floor buffs either. Yes, we are getting that fusion damage on intro skill, but like, we're not interacting with anything else on it. And that's the results that we're getting. So yeah, maybe for future videos, we'll just literally goof around. We'll like goof around on these 4th floors just to kind of show like, yeah, you don't really need too much. You don't really need too much to get this all going. On the 4th floor zone, what we're going to have is, unfortunately, the return of the Carlotta buff. This one is basically going to be a glacial resistance decrease of 10%. And then whenever you use an intro... Oh, wait a sec. Wait! The devs listened! Wait, the developers listened. I have been constantly complaining because whenever they have a Carlotta floor, they would, instead of saying when Resonators cast intro skill, their attack is increased, it would be when Resonators cast Resonance Liberation, their attack increases, and then it stacks up to 4 times. And what I said literally was, just throw that Liberation Reliant one away and make it so that when you cast an intro skill, your attack starts ramping up. And then at max stacks, you gain a resonance skill damage bonus. And so this is just inherently so absurdly friendly compared to the prior resets that we've had before. And like, I just want to pull up one of my prior ToA videos so I could show you literally the one that I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, the offending buff that they always run is right here. When Resonators cast Liberation, their attack is increased by 5%, and they gain 10% resonance skill damage for 3 seconds, stacking up to 4 times. This is essentially the same exact buff, but more characters in the game can use it. The same buff, it's just more characters can actually stack it up and use it. So, W Kuro Games, for matching up and making this shit way more accessible for players. And of course, right, stopping with this bullshit where only one character in the game can activate the floor buffs. Because if you're not using Carlotta, it doesn't exist. And because we've already seen how easy the side floors are, having overly specific buffs on the side floors, it only hurts new players. It only hurts less invested players. Because if you're well invested in a day one, you can use whatever the fuck you want and you'll still get a 3-star clear. But new players have to use these buffs, and so making it more available is actually really good. I would actually have to say this ToA reset as a whole seems really good. All the buffs, to some degree, seem to be slightly usable. And if it's a floor like the middle one where the buffs are a bit more specific, we're doing 2 rotation clears with Carlotta. So it just can't really even be HP inflation if we're getting the same Carlotta clears while missing crits that we've gotten in other resets. So it's just, the buffs are kind of general and still pretty okay. Everyone can use the buffs with this, and the floors are easy, and everyone can use the buff with this one, and the floor seems pretty easy. So, I mean, it's just a matter of like, hey, I'll call it straight down the middle. The ToA seems way better than Whimpering Wastes right now. And it doesn't seem like the ToA is much more predatory at all. And actually, I'm going to be entirely honest, it seems like the ToA is more accessible than ever with this update. Let's give that Zani team another try and see how it does against the Dragon of Dirge.
Loading. I engraft you new. Sentinel protect Bluebird. Be my salvation.
All yours. I can spare a minute to knock some heads around. My shield can withstand more than that. Fine. Comes with a Is that all?
I mean, what can I say? We are kind of like cleaning house with this, right? So, yes, to all the people that were concerned about seeing how that Zani team did before, well, you can probably see perhaps your concerns were a little bit unfounded, because it seems like she's doing just fine.
Sentinel protection. Power.
Shut. All yours. All of you at once. I don't do overtime. Come at me. My shield can withstand more than that.
Yeah, I genuinely think the poor results that we got before, guys, it's just because of this resistance increase. And I would say maybe it's more than 10%, because how those two teams relatively performed didn't seem like just a 10% decrease or a 10% increase in resistances. It seemed like it was 20 or 30. So maybe Kuro needs to look into like the back end numbers, or maybe maybe all of us don't fucking understand how resistance works, because that was kind of nuts. That'll be that for this reset. I gotta say, my overall take on it is that it seems to have gotten more friendly. And the fact of the matter is that, yes, people are going to be concerned with the fact that, well, there's going to be new zones available down here. But all I gotta say is, guys, you don't require that much investment at all to do a 2-minute clear on the side towers. And if you're running side towers right now, you're probably doing them all in like a minute, 45, 50 seconds. So you just put in your less built characters, maybe run a team of 4 stars, get that Dan Jin solo ready to just solo these floors, and then, you know, be able to dedicate those fully built teams to the sides over here. Because if we're entirely honest, these side towers, at least for day one players, have been a bit of a joke for a while. And so, yeah, for like that third team, I think you just take what you're using right now and then you build your C team to start taking these on, because 2 minutes is a really long time in these side zones. Just use level 80, maybe even some level 70 characters, right? Some 4-star DPSs that you're likely to have to just round it out over here. It might be a little bit more difficult than using like your key limited 5 stars, but I'm just going to be real, guys. The bar of investment required for these ones is not very high at all. And everybody has Havoc Rover. That's that, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be the ToA reset. And we will be making an update once floors 3 and 4 of the Hazard Tower are ready to go, and once they become available. So yeah, be on the lookout for that one. Let me know what you all thought about this. I think it's actually a good reset, and peace.